Hello chess family, it's me National Master Jesse James, and today we're going over a very fun way to attack the Dutch defense. That's right, the Dutch defense, one of the most aggressive openings you can play with black, at least against the d4 openings. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a gambit line attacking them. I'll be going over a lot of different ways to attack the Dutch defense, because really at the highest level, it's really not the best. Yes, Magnus Carlsen can get away with it, but not us mere mortals. So this is a fun idea to attack the Dutch defense with a gambit, like I said. I'll be going over the basic strategies for white and black, and well, this game was okay for me. I'm going to go ahead and show you a game with it, of course, one of mine, and this one I got a brilliant, so hopefully you can find it during the game, and then of course I got an accuracy of around 85%, so not too bad. Alright, let's get to it. I was playing the wide side, and yes, even I like to play d4 every once in a while, so here we go. d4, f5, my opponent's saying we're going Dutch defense. We're creating an imbalance in the game as soon as possible on move 1, and this is important to note because when they play the Dutch defense as black, they're going to go ahead and go for attacking game because, well, with the first move, your opponent's already telling you which way they're going. Because they move the f-pawn, this is on the king side, it's going to be a king side attack, where the white is a lot more balanced trying to control the center, and typically a lot of times in d4 openings, white's already telling you I'm going queenside. Well, I continue. I went ahead and played pawn to g4 here. I'm going to go ahead and give this an exclam for myself. g4 is a very fun gambit line. I cannot pronounce it, but I'll put it down below. If you can pronounce it, please let me know. But it is a very fun line here. The idea is to give away a pawn and will really mess up black's regular attacking idea, because a lot of times when you mess up your opponent's ideas of what they typically play, they have to start thinking for themselves. And one of the great quotes is, you know, whenever I let my opponent think for themselves, then I start to win. This is definitely one of those ideas. But a little idea behind why we play g4 here. The idea is hopefully they will take and they will give us two center pawns over here. And like I said, if they don't know this correctly, you can actually get a very good attacking position fast. Here my opponent went ahead and played pawn takes on g4, why not? And here I played pawn to h3. There's other ways to play this, but I like the h3 idea. And, well, you can see the computer likes this also. And here my opponent played d5. Definitely a good move here. If they do take on h3, it's already giving white a very good position. And here we get to play something like knight takes on h3. And the big idea in this one is going to be the light squares over here. There's a few checkmating ideas and, well, just good tactics here in general. Let's say black goes ahead and continues with d5. Here a nice move is knight g5 and knight to f4 here. And, well, we're already taking on h7 over here. Like I said, there's many traps to play in this one. If black goes ahead and plays something like knight to f6, queen to d3 gets played with a very nice idea of either rook takes on h7, knight takes on h7. And they have to be very, very careful here. Again, white's already in a plus position. I might go over some more of these lines later on. Anyways, h3 got played. My opponent played d5, trying to play nice and solid here. Here the idea is if you take on g4, well, they can just play bishop takes back. Here I continue with normal development here. Knight to c3. A lot of times in these lines, we won't bother playing pawn c4 because this is so aggressive. Knight c3 with the idea of the attack as soon as possible. Knight c6 gets played. And now bishop to f4. The computer didn't like this as much. And here maybe a better way to try and play this would have been something like h takes on g4. And after bishop takes, you have a few ideas. But the one I like the most is playing f3 and then looking to play pawn to e4. All right, back to the game. I went ahead and played bishop f4 here. The main idea behind this move is trying to stop any kind of e5 ideas. And pawn a6, yeah, this is really just a waste of time. You can see my opponent was definitely worried about the simple knight b5 idea with knight takes on c7. And if you play correctly here, this is not such a big deal. For instance, they could have played something as simple as e6, and if knight b5, this is just a waste of time. Bishop to d6 gets played, and black is already slightly better. Just remember, guys, when you do play gambit lines, you must play very precise. If you don't, your opponent just takes the extra material, and, well, it's just going to be better. And here my opponent makes a move that's very typical, but maybe not the best. I'm sorry, a6 got played, queen to d2 got played, and here he plays pawn g6. Like I said, this is a very basic move, which looks like a good move, but it actually is bad because it gives plenty of attacking chances. And the idea of g6 is trying to play bishop g7 here. All right, here we go. I went ahead and castled queenside. I like to do this because it makes the game even more aggressive. Remember, whenever it's opposite side castling, meaning one opponent castles kingside, the other one castles queenside, the game gets even crazier. And because I'm attacking, well, I want the craziness to ensue. My opponent could definitely try to go queenside here, but no, a lot of times they typically just go kingside and jump right into the attack. All right, my opponent played knight f6. Okay, and here we go. Bishop to g2. Yeah, I realized afterwards again this was just not the best here. Although it does kind of develop with a threat here, best was going to head and play h takes on g4. And either way that they take back, let's say bishop takes, now we'll play f3 and then pawn to e4 and just open up this position. Bishop g2 looked like a decent move, but the bishop is best placed on the diagonal over here. In fact, later on I'm able to get to this diagonal where it should be. And bishop g2 got played. Bishop g7. They continue with their plan, getting ready to castle kingside. And here, finally, I found the right idea. What is it? Yes, finally, I played h takes on g4. Bishop takes, pawn to f3, and bishop to e6. You can see my opponent here is already ready for pawn to e4 to get played. If they had played something like bishop f5 instead, well, they're just really fanning the flames here as e4 gets a free tempo. So bishop b6 got played. Now if I play e4, which is not a bad move. Actually, I went ahead and just played e4 here. They can take and get an open diagonal for the bishop. But they do have to be careful here. As you can see, my center is very, very strong now. Here they went ahead and castled. Not the best. They are castling right into the attack. And here I played a move I liked. Knight to h3, which the computer does not like at all. Here I think that plan's pretty simple. With knight to h3, my idea is to go ahead and play knight to g5 here, attacking the bishop and also putting pressure on h7. Apparently this just leads to losing a pawn after knight takes d4, knight g5, knight h5, bishop e3. The computer goes on like this and says, yeah, we're just up an extra pawn now. Yeah, computers are pretty crazy, right? Anyways, back to the main game where humans are playing. Let's see here. Let's go back over here. So after knight h3, my opponent played a regular looking move. Knight to h5 makes sense. Here the knight is attacking over here on my bishop. And, well, also putting pressure on d4 to snack a pawn over here. Here I played bishop e3. Again, not the best move here. Here probably best is just to go ahead and play bishop to h6. Notice if they do try to snack a pawn on d4, well, then I could just take on h6. And this bishop can be very good for attacking. So it's best that I just go ahead and trade it off as soon as possible. But, as I said, I played bishop to e3. And he went ahead and played bishop takes. Here I was very happy. And, well, it looks like he's getting rid of this bad bishop over here. But now my bishop's going to become quite strong. Bishop takes on h3. Rook takes on f3. This is not the pawn that you're looking for. Here there are actually a few ways for white to get a good position. Here I chose this way and I played e takes on d5 for a little trappy idea. Here my opponent played knight to b4. The idea for them is to take on d5. Here I had seen the idea and realized that this knight is actually trapped. And here I played pawn to a3. Again, computer doesn't like this, but my trap works. Knight takes on d5 because where else does the knight go? And here it is. White to move bishop e6, forking the king and the knight. My opponent went ahead and played king to h8. Bishop takes on d5. Now my bishop has won the piece. Got a free tempo off the rook, and we're going to transfer it over to the best diagonal over here. We're going to go for that kingside attack, as I said. Rook to f5. Bishop b4. Thank you for the free tempo. Rook over to f7. And rook over to g1. I cannot be more happy with my position. Look at these guys. My bishops are looking great. My rooks are looking great. The only piece I don't like is the knight. But hey, you got to be happy with what you have here. And here, my opponent went ahead and played pawn c6, trying to defend the pawn. At this point, I did find my double exclam. If you want to push pause and see if you can find out what white's best move is. And if you haven't already, go ahead and give us that like and subscribe. Remember, giving us a like is, of course, going to help the video because it's going to be able to spread to other people that are learning chess or really just enjoy it. All right. What was the move here? Here, hope you can find a true double exclam. We went ahead and played. Bishop takes on g6. The pawns are covering this king. Let's get rid of them. With my rooks or my cannons lined up against the king, this was pretty much a no-brainer. I was actually pretty surprised this was a double exclam move. It seems so obvious to me. After h takes on g6, rook takes on g6, we now see the knight is very vulnerable here, and, well, there really is just no good way to defend it. He went ahead and played rook f5, and what do you do here? Simple chess, just add more attackers. Here I played queen e2, and there is no good way to defend this knight over here. The game ends pretty fast now. King over to g8, rook takes on h5, rook takes, queen to e8, and now here for our final tactic. Do you see it? This is not too hard. Just remember, guys, pin it and win it anytime you see a pinned piece. Add more pressure to it. So what do you play? Simple chess. Go ahead and just play bishop h6. And after this point, my opponent just went ahead and resigned. Remember, guys, this was a very fun game in the Dutch defense. I played the wine side, and this was a gambit line. Again, I can't pronounce it. It starts with a K. But after d4, f5, go ahead and play pawn g4 here. Again, the idea is to try to get away one of their pawns that's controlling the center here. And if they take, you play pawn h3, or you can play pawn e4 here too. I prefer the h3 lines as it's much more aggressive. But hopefully you will try this out and get some good attacking games against the attacking player. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video.